February 21st, 2025, 6:37 a.m. This is now the 5th day of my trip, and I've fallen into a sustainable rhythm of finding new subjects, revisiting past subjects, and formulating a plan based on the conditions. Yesterday was windy, and today will be similar, though not quite as strong. Today's plan is to revisit the same canyon I spent much of yesterday and try again on a subject I missed. I write this now from the side of the road, watching warm light descend the Panamint Range as nearby creosote shrubs are tossed gently in the breeze. The sky overhead is clear, and my ears ring with silence. All right, that was 1.6 seconds at 45. This glow happens very quickly. I left the camera in the same position as when I first got here, and the light was really flat, and as I was starting to set up the composition, all of a sudden I just see that glow appear on the ground glass. So I may meter it again and give it another exposure just for safety, but the main scene I came here to photograph is actually a little further up the canyon, and that one I've got about an hour or so until it starts getting decent light, and actually the good window is probably a couple hours from now. So, but I found this as I was hiking through here yesterday, took some scouting photos, and these glows are pretty cool. So I've arrived at my potential second subject today, and this is the one that I was at yesterday when I had finally decided on a composition and some direct light spilled into view. And from a video perspective, I really can't get a good angle on this because I'm photographing this scene off over here, yet I have this wall back behind the camera here. So I'm gonna be talking about things you can't really see too much, but there's not too much I can do about that. But there's a big boulder down here that is lodged kind of in the middle of this canyon, and then the wash kind of zigzags through it. And there's one thing I was contemplating yesterday, which is how much foreground to include in this composition. And I thought it was important to include it, but I took pictures with my iPhone with more and less of the foreground, and actually found that having less of the foreground helped to simplify the photo and put more emphasis on this big boulder that is off in the background there. And so with that in mind, I was able to pretty quickly set up the composition. It is 9:44 right now. I have about an hour, and by that point, the sun that I'm in right now, this is gonna shift off over here, and I'm gonna have reflected light filling over here. So you can very easily see how when walking through these canyons, you can have harsh light. It's hard to get a feel for things, but once that light shifts and everything starts glowing, it just changes so dramatically. But I'm very glad that I'm here ahead of the light. It's actually not very windy at all right now, especially compared to yesterday. Blue sky overhead, and we'll see what happens. So the direct sunlight has just cleared from view, and so the scene is in a soft reflected light, and I metered at 2 seconds f45. I'm going to shoot this on Provia, and the brightest highlights are going to be kind of in the positive 1.9 area, the darkest shadows in the negative 1.9, so I'm just barely fitting within the range of Provia. So let's go ahead and expose the sheet of film. Wrap this over here. Just make sure the cable really stays out of the way. You don't want to take a picture of your cable release. All right, 2 seconds. There you go. And again, I'm in a pretty crumbly area here, so it's a very awkward video angle. But the boulder back there has some decent light on it. I think it's going to get even a little bit better. This is just my first window of light, and I have about 20 minutes to 30 minutes until direct sunlight creeps back into view again. Pretty cool to photograph 2 subjects today. I suspect that tomorrow will be a good day to go on a bike ride. The wind will be calm, and the only problem is it's Saturday, so it's a little bit more busy on the roads. But there's some areas, further down the valley where not a lot of people go, and there's some good passes to climb up. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep watching this light and probably expose another sheet in another 10-15 minutes or so. Well, I ended up exposing 4 sheets of Provia and 1 sheet of Portra. And I never really know when the light's gonna be best. I certainly know when the glow is gonna be strongest, but that doesn't necessarily always make for the best photo. So I have a photo at the very beginning of the window of light when the glow is a little less intense. And then I have one as the glow is a bit stronger. And then, several others in between. But the weather was great. The wind was calm, no clouds in the sky, and definitely feeling really good about that. And also feeling pretty good about this trip so far. All the opportunities I've had so far. So looking forward to getting back to my truck, get myself that wonderful peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and see about finding a potential subject for this evening. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience of watching the glow emerge while a subtle desert breeze drifted through the canyon. My body was calm and full of energy. The sights, the smells, somehow this seemingly harsh environment felt soft and inviting. It was only my 4th visit to this canyon, but it felt like home. As expected, my first subject took on a decidedly blue color cast, but I like how it adds a sense of mystery, and the play of warm and cool light creates additional depth. In years past, I would have corrected for this blue cast, but I've learned to embrace how film renders these scenes. I don't often use my wide-angle lens, but it is well suited for this subject, and the larger depth of field was an added plus. My second photo that day was my favorite from this trip. I first noticed this subject 2 years ago, and my primary goal leading into this trip was to find a way to photograph it. The window of light was short, but I managed to put myself in the right place at the right time. I love the playful angles and color separation of the canyon walls, and the wonderful glow on the central boulder. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you around next time. You may have noticed this video has no ads and no sponsors, and I think it's nicer that way. If you enjoy this ad-free and clickbait-free content and want to help me live my dream, a voluntary contribution through PayPal or by joining my Patreon helps keep my gas tank full and my film freezer stocked. You can find more information by visiting my website at benhorne.com/donate. I also have prints, ebooks, and my annual portfolio is available on my website. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.